Hello all my beautiful sisters from those other misters. Welcome back to my channel. We're doing another eyeshadow project update, and last time I talked about how I was going to start working on my single eyeshadows. So I pulled out all of my single eyeshadow palettes, and I don't even how did it fucking get this bad? How? To be fair, not all of these are completely full, and some of them do actually contain highlighters, I believe. But I thought I might even tackle highlighters in this video because, or in this, shall we call it chunk of videos, because obviously I'm not getting through all of this stuff in a month. I barely got through anything. I'm vibing more minimal makeup these days, or no makeup at all, and I have been for a while, and a lot of you guys know that. So obviously that makes it slow going when I'm trying to work through my products and play with things and see what I want to keep and what I want to get rid of. So what I will tell you is I managed to get through this palette here, and I have started working on these guys here, which are two Inglot palettes. So we're going to go through them. Now, the ColourPop palette actually contains shadows from a Morphe palette, which oh god, it's already annoying me. From a Morphe palette that I depotted, and these pans are not, they're not magnetic. The palette is, the pans are not. So what I thought I would do is use these and, you know, see if there was any that I wanted to keep, and then I would get some little metal bits that you can adhere to the bottom of pans, and then they will stick in the palette properly. So that is eventually what I will do. The first thing that I wanted to do with this palette was get the sticky adhesive off the bottom of all of the pans. So they had this, it's kind of like a, I don't know, it's like hot glue basically. And it had that, and then like chunks of cardboard from the palette. Now, for most of them, I was able to get it off really easily, except for one, which was a really dark brown matte shade. It was already a little bit cracked, and the action of sort of trying to, you know, peel the glue off, obviously, you know, bent the pan a tiny bit, and it just started to get messy, and it cracked some more, and I was like, I don't care. I really do not, it's just not worth it for me. It was a shade that was very dark. I would not often reach for it, if ever. I have small eyes, so darker shades on me, not my fave, and kind of hard to work with, and just not really worth the hassle, basically. So I don't really reach for shades like that. So that one, I just put it straight in the bin. There was no point in keeping it. The first look that I did using this palette consisted of two matte shades, this one here and this one here, and then this sort of coppery metallic shade. I quite liked the look. It's all like very generic and basic, like nothing super exciting. But what I did feel was this shade here was gorgeous, and I loved it, and I found myself using it for a lot of the looks. This slightly darker brown that is now on the ground and broken, well, look, this is going in the bin. And you know what? I wasn't actually going to do this. I was going to keep some of these shades. I'm just going to get rid of all of these because, oh god. Okay, looking at the pile in front of me, for starters, when these are in my bedroom and they're sort of put away neatly in drawers, I really don't see the gravity of how much I have. And when it is then all stacked in front of my face, I'm like, why do I have this many single eyeshadows? Like, come on, man. They can't all be super special. In my opinion, or not in my opinion, but my preferences for single shadows is that they should be the really special, exciting, fun, you know, quite unique, something that I don't already have in other palettes. And I just, like, none of that is going on here. And you might see this red shade and think, surely she'll keep the red. The red is nice, but I wouldn't say there's anything like insanely special about it. It is quite a true red. I did actually wear this in a video, and I put it over the top of the Australis Metallics that's in my project pan, and it pulled quite pink. But if you don't do that, it is like, it's a proper red shade. Even when you blend it out, you can probably, I mean, who's blending a shimmer? I'm not. If you are and you're offended by that comment, I'm sorry, but I don't blend my shimmers. I kind of pack them on for like, you know, full opacity. It has the ever so slightest pinky undertone, but it's not like full on pink, whereas some shades that I'll talk about today, they're pinky. Anyway, I do like this, but it's not anything super special. And but you know how I feel about red. Let's set that one aside. But you know, I'm just gonna get rid of all of these. I'm just gonna throw them away. It's I'm thinking like, if I keep them, I have to, you know, take the time to put the sticky things on the bottom. I can't be bothered. Goodbye. I feel lighter now that they're in the bin. Let's just put it that way. Okay, let's move on to what's in these Inglot palettes. So I have 2 of these. They are the Freedom System palettes that don't have the dividers in them. So I'll show you, this is another one of the Freedom System. These ones are designed for the actual Inglot eyeshadows, and these guys are designed for just whatever. Now what I can say about these is the magnets in these white palettes just not as good as the black ones. Now in here I actually have more Morphe shadows, and I am just going to pull them all out, and I'm going to get rid of them because they move around in here. They're annoying as hell, and oh god, I just know I'm going to feel better if I get rid of them. It's these ones here. They're all brown. I can't really, how am I going to show you this? They're all brown. They all look the same. I don't need them. I am a little bit sad about this one right here. It looks really beautiful, but also I probably have that in a million other palettes. Then we have this, which is looking like a mess. So I'm gonna organize a little bit of less chaos, shall we say. I think these are all Terra Moons. Yes, they are. So these have, they were actually, I believe all of them were gifted to me from Madeline. I'm just checking. Yeah, they are. So I've got a whole bunch of their like really special like duochrome ones here, which are like, these are really beautiful. They basically have like a, you know, a sheer or white-ish, not really white, it's more like it's sheer, but then they have like a shift, and they're gorgeous. I haven't actually dug into these in recent times, like during doing this project, but they are next on the list. What I did dig into and what I'm wearing today are these 3. Let me swatch these and then I can take you through the names. Another thing that I don't like about single eyeshadows, especially in the context of being a YouTuber and having to like talk about the colors and the names and stuff, is like trying to pick them up out of a palette, especially with nails like this. Like, it's a nightmare. But these are very beautiful colors. So this one I am actually wearing in my crease. This one is in my outer corner, and this one is over my eyelid. I would say that when you look at them like this, they all look individual and, you know, stand on their own 2 feet. But when you blend them all on the eye, I mean, they start to look really similar. And this is not just an issue with these eyeshadows. This is an issue with so many eyeshadows. Now let me take 5 minutes to pick these up and check their names. So Meet Me on Mars is this shade here, which is kind of like a fluorescent sort of pinky orange. It's like a coral shade. When you pack this on heavy, you get that color, obviously. When you start to blend it out, like when I was blending it out in my crease, it just goes pink. You lose all of the orangeness. The next one down is infrared. This is, I mean, this looks pretty red, but it's on my outer corner and I don't feel like you could really tell. In the pan, it looks, to me, it just looks quite like bright pink. It's definitely red in there, and I feel like on my little screen it looks more red, but it's not how it comes off on the skin. And then this one here, which is called Terrasphere, this is really cool. This is definitely a pink, but it has sort of like a almost like a minty green and silver shift. On the eye it looks, you know, you can't really see the difference in the like color shift, like with the green, and also obviously having green next to pink or red, they neutralize each other out, so it just looks like a silvery shift. The formula is really nice though, so I do enjoy these. I think my favorites still, based on my past use and not current use, are these more duochrome special ones. So I will revisit this particular section of my loose shadow collection in the future. It'll probably be in next month's update, but I also have been working on this, and not for long. I've dipped into a few shades, so let's just talk about it. I've got two shades in here that I'm definitely going to keep. I've got one down here from Inglot. This one is, oh, I can't remember, 328. Now, I have gone through countless pans of these because it is the shade that I use to set my eye base, basically. Then up here I have another, like a similar color. This one is ever so slightly lighter. I am wearing it today. It works just fine. I am going to keep that one for the same job. I don't actually remember where these came from. They might have been Ulta 3 eyeshadows. They might have also been out of a balm palette. I honestly cannot remember. They've been in here a long time. I did use these three down here. I think I wore them in a video, but I can't remember what video it was, or maybe I just wore them for a night out. I don't know. I can't remember. This shade here, I was a bit like, I don't know, a little bit torn by it. It's a gold, but it has sort of like a greeny bronze hint to it. I don't know. It's just like, it's quite pretty. It's quite unique. Well, maybe it's not unique. Maybe I do have something like it in my stash. I can't be sure, but I really enjoyed the formula of these eyeshadows. I was pleasantly surprised. These two worked beautifully as well. And of course, this matte one up here, which I already talked about, that there was no issues there. Down here, I have 6 from Anastasia Beverly Hills. Now, I've used these two and they were fine. These are about as dark as I want to go with dark shades on my eye, like using them in the outer corner. They're both very similar to each other. Do I need both? No. Do I have them in other palettes? Yeah, probably. Am I ready to get rid of them? I don't know yet. But there they are. One is sort of like, you know, a wine shade, and one is sort of like a chocolatey shade, but with some hints of purple as well. I do think they're very pretty, and, you know, they're the sort of shades I'm gravitating towards quite a bit at the moment because, you know, it's autumn here in Australia, and I am vibing that sort of winey eye look, basically. I also used this shade here. This one, I don't even know if ABH do individual eyeshadows anymore. This one's called Gem, and it is like, it's a nude skin color, and I think it looked okay in the look that I did, but I also don't think it's anything special, and I want to get rid of it. I just don't feel like I'm going to use it. Here I have some from Makeup Forever. ME612 is that one, which is a taupe shade. These are all taupes, to be fair. I544, is that right? Or LUO? You know what? I don't even know. They've just got a whole bunch of numbers on the back and I don't know what's what. I didn't actually use these. I just looked at them and I looked at the size of them and I was just like, am I ever actually going to use them? I think the answer is probably no. So why am I going to keep them? It just doesn't really make sense for me to hold on to them. And being shades like that, I just feel like it's so generic. I have this in spades, in palettes. I don't need to then keep them in individual palettes that I never reach for. There are 2 more shades in this palette that I just don't see myself going for. Another one from ABH, it is this green shade, which does look really beautiful. It's called Mermaid, but I mean, we've discussed me and green eyeshadows before. Like, I don't go there. I mean, it is pretty. It's sort of like a dark teal, and it has nice light reflect, but how often am I going to reach for it? Probably never. And then this one here, this sort of grey shade. Again, I just don't think I'm going to go for this. I don't think it's going to be something that I gravitate towards. And if I did want a sort of, you're so cute back there. If I did want a grey taupe, I probably have them in palettes. Okay, so I've done a little bit of moving around and I emptied out one of those Inglot palettes and I've got everything in here and they're all magnetized and they're not going to move and it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. This is going to be the palette that I sort of focus on the most over the next month. Hopefully I will also, you know, dig into some other palettes and I am actually going to take you through them in this video because I'm feeling pretty ruthless and I'm feeling like I can declutter more stuff and not be emotional about it, which is great. Let's actually go through these palettes from Inglot. So I have 4 here. I don't think they're all completely full. No, they're not. Okay, so I think 3 of them are full and the last one is not so full. Now, these shades down here, again, I think this one is 328 just based on the way it looks. And these guys were ones that I was sort of playing around with to see how they compared to 328. I know I bought a lot of these online. This one is ever so slightly more pink. This one is a shade lighter than 328. I've got a bunch of like browns and orangey tones. These are all matte formulas. You can probably tell that this stuff, like this is my jam. This taupey shade is also one that's great when I want to go for a cool tone look. I haven't used any of these in a long time, and what I do know about Inglot's formula is that it can be very hit and miss, especially with the mattes. Some of them apply beautifully and they blend really well, some do not. I'm kind of hoping that these guys are all like fine based on their colors, simply because of the type of pigment that would typically be used. But look, it's going back a long time since I've used them, so I cannot be sure. I'm gonna hold on to them. Then we get into like cool tones and shimmers. This one I'm gonna keep, but I'm not even gonna lie, I feel like I could get rid of all of these shimmer shades because I just might keep that one because I feel like, here we go, let's go back to this palette. I feel like that one complements that guy over there. So I think, oh, now here's a test. Where's my Inglot magnet? Found it. It was exactly where it should have been. So these palettes, oh God, they're pretty cool. They've got really, really sturdy magnets. The way that you get them out is you take an Inglot magnet and you just pop it near the shadow and it pops out like that. But that's one I want to keep. Also, I'm just gonna look, this is how organized I was with my makeup back in the day. I numbered them all. I'm not going to go through all of the numbers though, because I can't be bothered. But I think what I want to do is, like I said, I'm going to get rid of all of the shimmers in these palettes, because their Inglot's standard like shimmer formula is really nothing special. It is just kind of like, you know, whatevs. There's nothing special going on there. I much prefer, look, you guys know I love me a sparkle. Sparkle, sparkle, sparkle. It makes me feel happy. So in saying that, I'm going to pop all of these out. Okay, let's move on to the next one and see if I can get rid of some more shades. This palette's right up my alley. I definitely think I'm going to get rid of the purples, because I don't reach for purple eyeshadow all that much anymore, and these look really lackluster if you ask me. Like, that's not exciting. I am also going to get rid of this blue. I will swatch it for you. It looks beautiful. I know. And I mean, you can see there. I would say that that is an enticing shade for people who love blues. The formula of this, it's funny. It looks metallic or like shimmery in the pan, but when you swatch it, I believe it's actually a matte with like micro sparkle in it. Okay, I did a little bit of moving around after I got those shades out, and I took the palette that had those two shades, which were, oh crap, these ones? No, that one and that one, I think. Put them in here with the other shades and fill this up with the ones I'm getting rid of. So there we go. Moving on to the last palette. Are you ready to be shocked? No one's shocked. Obviously, I'm not going to get rid of these guys. I am going to play with them, test them out, see how I feel about them. You guys know I love me some reds. These are all shades that have like red tones in them. There is a red tone purple, like wine shade. This is a red tone brown, and then we have a red, red, red. I have condensed that down to 3 palettes instead of 4, which is great. I will get rid of these guys. I've got 2 other individual Inglot shadows that are sitting there that have nowhere to go. Hopefully I will be able to whittle this down even further. But the fun doesn't stop there, folks. I have more palettes to get through. I have this palette here. Whenever I show this particular palette, people say, where did you get that? I got it off eBay years ago. In here, I actually have Makeup Geek singles. These are matte shades that I have used fairly heavily, to be honest. I think what I might do is actually get rid of this dark purple, because I just don't see myself reaching for it. I mentioned earlier, like, there is a certain level of depth that, or darkness, that I like to go to with my eyeshadows, and anything beyond that, I just find it difficult to work with and not worth the headache for me. So this is beyond that. I would say like this sort of depth is as deep as I want to go. So I will hold on to those guys. I will play with them as well. I have this palette from Glaminatrix. It's not full, so I'm going to do some, you know, we're going to consolidate some shadows here. These are all from Glaminatrix. This was their Easter, I think they called it the Easter Duochrome collection, something like that. These are all beautiful, and I've played with them a little bit, but not a whole lot. I have 2 mattes down here and 2 of these beautiful flaky formulas. This is like one of those blue-brown kind of pigments that we've, you know, I feel like it is an iconic shade, and it goes back to the dawn of time in like the YouTube beauty community. I am holding on to all of these. I don't want to get rid of any of them just yet. I want to test them out before I decide, but I am going to take these guys from Makeup Geek. I'm going to put them in this palette. So my stack of palettes isn't 40 foot high. I have more Makeup Geek here. Okay, what do I do? I'm starting to get emotional, all right? What I'm going to do is get rid of all of the blues and the greens, because I will never wear them, but also I'm not going to look at them too much, and I'm sure as shit not going to swatch them because I will change my mind. and I don't want to change my mind. I just want to get rid of them. I'm also going to get rid of this sort of periwinkle blue, which is called Chit Chat, because I just know that I'm not going to reach for it. I know how that color is going to look against my skin, and I just know that even though I look at them in their pans and I think they are beautiful and I can appreciate them for what they are, I just know that they are not colors that I'm going to gravitate towards, and I should not keep them for the sake of keeping them. These guys I will tackle again in the future. In this palette here, I have some shades that are old as the hills, and I think it's time to get rid of them. So these square and rectangle pans here, I can't remember where they came from. I know they came out of a palette, but they've all got to go. Like, just off you go, mate. Now the others, I see one here from, I think it's Davina Cosmetics, which is this red one. Who are these from? These were sent by a brand. I know they were. Cleona. Okay, so these are my Cleonas down here. These ones here are pigments that I pressed many, many moons ago. Can't even get them out of the palette. I'm going to get rid of those as well. This is my nightmare. It is a palette that, oh God, there's something messy in there. Can you see this guy? Oh, wait. This one. Focus. It is crumbling. It is crumbling. Crumbumbly. Get out. Get out. Go in the bin. I don't know what it is. Goodbye, madame. I am going to tip this up in my bin to get rid of all of this breakage. And if anything falls in, it's dead to me. I was kind of hoping something would fall in. It didn't. I have a matte shade here. This, I have no idea what this is. It's come out of a palette. It's also going in the bin. The rest are highlights and some pigments that I have pressed. So the pigments that I pressed are these little pans. I'm going to get rid of them as well, I think. Off you go. Don't need ya. Not interested. The others I'm going to play with. I don't remember what they are. Do they have names on the back? Oh yeah, there's some Makeup Forever highlights. Or, I don't know if you can really call them highlights. I don't know. These guys, they're like, you know, translucent base with shifty shifts. Do I even care? I don't care, do I? I really don't care. I'm not going to keep that. I'm not... Listen, I'm never, ever, ever in a million trillion years going to reach for these. So let's get rid of all of them. However, I do have some others from, this one's from Cleona. So this is like a silver, not silver, sorry, gold with kind of like an orangey shift to it. I am going to hold on to that. This one is from Davina Cosmetics in Zion. Again, that's like the gold with the orangey shift. And then I have three others here, which I will hold on to, I'll play with, and I will reassess in the future. We are getting down to the nitty gritty. This is the last thing that I want to tackle. What's in here? Oh, good God, no. Are you fucking serious? Oh, I see some shit from the Makeup Breakup here. I see some stuff that I pulled out of Benefit palette. Okay, Soap and Glory. This is a broken thing. No, ma'am. This is a MAC blush. It's in the shade Breezy. And I'm just going to take a stab in the dark and say that's going to be too dark for me. It is. I'm going to get rid of that. This is from Ciate. Also something that I pulled out of, I don't know, maybe a palette or something. To be fair, that looks really pretty. Oh, okay, I'm going to keep that. Just for now. Just for now. We'll see how we go in the future. I might come to my senses. I also have Coralista and Hula here that I pulled out of a palette that was in my project pan. Was it last year? Can you guys remember? I'm going to get rid of them. This is a rainbow highlighter. Who was it from? Davina again. This was cool. This was really cool. It was one of those like, how am I going to even show you this? I don't know if I really can. It was, you know, one of the rainbow highlighters with the bits, the lines, the lines. And what we did was we broke up half of the pan and mixed it all together to see how it would look, because that's typically how you might use one of these highlighters if you're going to be, you know, using it in an easy way. And it just becomes a silver highlighter, which is pretty, don't get me wrong, but also I feel like the rainbow effect is a lot prettier. I kind of wish like I had a proper rainbow highlighter, because I feel like that would look sick, like, you know, swiped over your collarbones or something like that, if you're going to festivals. But also I'm 37, I'm not going to any festivals. I'm gonna get rid of that. And the last one that I have here is also from Makeup Forever. That can go as well. I am gonna fill up. I'm gonna throw these out. Goodbye. No, nobody wants half-used pans of anything, or anything broken, or anything that's gungy or repressed or just looking rough. But I do still have some nice products here. A friend might love a MAC blush. They might love some individual shadows. I absolutely have no idea how many shades I've gotten rid of here. I'm not even going to bother counting them. The answer is a decent amount. That's good enough. Okay, I feel fresher. I feel lighter. I also feel a little bit like I want to go and have a shower because I'm covered in eyeshadow. So I've done some consolidating and I am feeling a little bit better about this. Not so, oh my god, why do I have a stack of 50 fucking individual eyeshadow palettes? What I have here are 7 eyeshadow palettes. No, 8, sorry. 8 eyeshadow palettes that contain eyeshadows that I want to explore some more. One of them, this one here, is quite empty. There's only 5 shades in there. The one on top contains some pigments that I pressed, which I didn't really touch on in this video, but I'll get to that in the future. Then I have 3 palettes that contain shades that I want to see if any friends would like to take on. I've got that one. I've got the Inglot palette, and I have the Makeup Forever palette. If none of my friends want them, I'm throwing them out. I'm just getting rid of them. And then what's really cool are these guys. 3 empty individual palettes, no eyeshadows in them at all, and that is a great feeling. So my stack shrinks, and that's always the goal. I did find this month using the eyeshadows, it was overwhelming, and that was probably because I had so many, and I'm just like, in my head I'm like, why do I have this many? Like, I don't, how did it get here? How did this become a thing? And I think like the longer I go into this sort of like minimizing my collection journey, the more I have less tolerance for so much stuff. So I'm just going to test them out. I'm going to test everything out. I'm going to, you know, do my eye looks, and then I'll be back. I'll be back in a month, hopefully with a whole palette of shit that I want to declutter. I think what I will do when I leave here is I will sort of put together a palette that consists of like enough mattes and shimmers and all that stuff to use. Try and like take one of these empty palettes in, and I will just start filling it with eyeshadows that I want to declutter, and then I can come back to you next month and we can see how much I have minimized my single eyeshadow collection. Ultimately, I would like to just have one palette of the special shades that I really, really enjoy. So, you know, I got a lot of work to do. I don't know if that's realistic. Like I said, I get emotional about the makeup and I just can't let it go. But that's it, guys. I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to take this doggo inside. She's just like, this sucks. You sat there like a statue. You're going to come say hello? Come say hello. Come say hello. Come say hello. on the camera. Yeah. Oh, very good. I knew you were going to do that. Alright guys, that's it. I'm going to go. I love you very much. I hope you enjoyed this probably chaotic update, but I feel good about getting rid of stuff. And the dog says goodbye. I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Bye.